To get this template, you're going to go to Sean's Crafts, which is a good channel you should subscribe to, Functional Amazing Spider-Man Webshooter video, and in the comment section of that video he has the link to how you get this template, and in the video he will also tell you how to get the template. My version of his is slightly different, but it's basically the same, but I like mine because it's a little bit easier. Just before we get into the build, make sure to like and subscribe to help me create more content. Thanks. So to start, you're going to cut out these two pieces of the template. One of these, the one piece, so one of this one, and then 6 of this. So, and then you'll put this on top of this, and then 2 more of those, and then you could flip it over if you wanted, and then do 3 of those on the other side. So this is the piece after it's finished. So as you can see, 3 pieces of those little side pieces, and that's the first piece. Next, I made the stop block, which is the pieces after the first and second pieces on the template, and it just keeps the dart in when you don't want to shoot it. Otherwise, as soon as you put the dart in, it's just going to fling out again. So that's almost like the trigger. So after making that little stop block, I glued it on. No, not glued it on. I taped it on, which, as you can see here, is pretty easy to do. And then now I made this little, this is the barrel, and it's quite a big strip of paper, quite long, and you roll it up into this kind of shape, and I hardened it with PVA glue after I'd super glued it together, and I'm just going to glue it in there. Then I attached the barrel, which is a long piece. I think it might be number 5, but it's the pieces after the stop block pieces. And then I attached the little, I think it's number 7, which basically helps keep the bullet in, or dart, and it will let the web trail out when it shoots out of the barrel. So as you can see here, I just put on some blue paint, which I had lying around the house. You could use spray paint if you wanted, but I would just use that and let it dry. Now I'm going to reveal the secret of how this Webshooter shoots webs. So it consists of 3 pen springs, which you can twirl together like that, but my springs just didn't want to do that, so I've had to glue some of them together, but as you can see, they still compress, which means they still work, so that's how it shoots. And to make the tip of the dart, wrong way around. Oh no, I did have it the right way around. Piece number 8 here. Cut that out and you wrap it around the end of your dart. Mine wasn't big enough to fit on the edge of the stop block here. It didn't get stuck here, which when you pull that down is what lets it go, obviously. So that wasn't happening, and I just wrapped it in some duct tape instead of putting another layer of paper, because it was really hard for me to get that to set properly. So yeah. So for the next bit of our Webshooter, we're going to be covering this little side bit with a piece of tissue box cardboard, which is also what I made this out of, by the way. And we're going to get piece 17, there, and we're going to cut that out and put that there to cover the side. I'm going to make the dimensions a little bit bigger. I'm going to do 6.5 centimeters by 2 centimeters. So that's 6.5 2 centimeters to cover the little barrel bit. And as you can see here, the dart just goes in there, and I'm not sure I can do it on camera here, but it just squishes down and the stop block holds it like that, and then when I let go, it shoots. So yeah. in Sean's video, he gets on with quite a few aesthetic pieces, but I'm just going to get on with the Webshooter part of the build, and yeah, so the next piece you're going to need is piece 19, and I superglued it a little bit to make it a little bit harder, and I attempted to make the second piece for it, but it wasn't quite big enough, so as you can see I've taken that bit off. But yes, once you get that piece, you're going to need to get piece 18 here, which I have drawn onto the cardboard, and you can see my last attempt there. You're using tissue box cardboard for this part, whereas normal cardboard for the other bit, and I did mine, I think, 4.5 centimeters by 4 centimeters, but you could probably use the normal template. It might have just been the way I cut it out, but yeah, I'll check back in with you once I've cut that out. So as you can see, I finished the web cartridge. I think I ended up doing the dimensions 7 centimeters by 7 centimeters, and as you can see I gave it a little bit of blue paint, but I might have to do another coat because some of it's coming off, but it looks pretty good. And as you can see, my little web cartridge just fits in nicely, pretty tight, but you don't want it moving and it's not going anywhere. So yeah, that's where our web's going to be stored, and it looks pretty good. As you can see that I've increased the dimensions a bit and made it taller, which actually fits the Webshooter really well because it covers the barrel, so I'll be able to do a top on top of that. And by the way, I forgot to mention this earlier, but when you compress the spring, the little end of the dart or tail stick comes out of this little hole. I didn't realise that first, but yes, so the spring stays compressed in here, but the end of the dart comes out of that little hole. So as you can see, I added the side pieces, 2 of those at the side, and to make this top piece that fitted exactly, I turned it over and traced the outline of this onto some tissue box cardboard again, and that came out really good. So I'll just do the sides blue, and then I'll do this red, and I'm going to do some more on this because it's starting to flake off. Some more blue. So as you can see, I gave everything a little bit of a coat of paint, and I would definitely recommend on painting, so if you have tissue box cardboard, there'll almost be 2 sides to it. One side which is like whitish, like paper, and one that's got like the design on it. And I would definitely recommend not painting on the design side because it just flakes off and doesn't dry in properly. Whereas that, you can see it absorbed it well. Whereas on the top side here, it didn't. Whereas there it did. So also, I even tried repainting this, but every time I slot it in there, it just keeps rubbing off. So I might just try and give it a couple layers of paint to make it stay on, but I'll see what happens. So as you can see, it's leaving a huge mess everywhere. So what I'm going to do to like prime it is use some Tipp-Ex, and I'm just going to brush it on like so. Let's give this a go. So I'm not sure if this will work, but we'll give it a go, and we never know, it might almost be like a primer. So I'll just coat all this and I'll get back to you once that's done. As you can see here, I just covered it in paint, and the Tipp-Ex actually worked really well as a primer and didn't flake. This was the first test of the actual Webshooter shooting. I didn't have the wristband attached at this point, but I was just checking the basic mechanism worked, and it did really well. So last night I made the wristband piece, which is the basically same piece as the bit you started with, but you cut 2 little slits, and to make the wristband I just stuck 2 pieces of electrical tape together and put a piece of Velcro on each end so that when you put it around your wrist, it sticks around your wrist so it stays on. And I'm just going to give that a bit of paint and this a second coat because some bits are quite white so you can see through. By the way, I forgot to mention this is piece 12, and obviously you just thread the tape through before you glue it on because otherwise you might not be able to get it through. Obviously we want to be able to shoot our web shooter like Spider-Man, so when I'm holding it like that, I want a loop to be able to put my hand through. Let me just fix the lighting here. And that's why I made this little loop out of string on the end. And I just covered the ends in tape so it wouldn't unravel and just hot glued that on the stop block, and it's working really well. So now that if you finished your web shooter, this is how you load your dart. So get your dart like so. And you're just gonna stick that right in there. And then I'm just gonna, oh, the lighting's not very good. I'm gonna have to take this out of the camera set to get it through, but this is what you do. So you stick pieces. You stick the cocktail stick through the hole, and as you can see, the string's attached there, so that I'll just get a pencil and I will just poke that through. So excuse me taking such a long time, but yeah, I'll get back to you once I've done that. Now you can see I've got the cocktail stick through, and all the string has been pulled through, so that's how you get the string through. And you just need a pencil like this, and what you're going to do is just wrap your string round and round the pencil, and then you pull it off and you stick it in the web cartridge, and it makes sure it doesn't get tangled when it comes out for your web shooter. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.
이거는